sincerely, congrats on this movie.
Thanks.
It made me very angry, and I don't know, based on the material and what, and you know, this is going off on the rails. Let me actually ask a real question. Um, the thing that I really enjoyed about this is that it doesn't focus on Charlie's, uh, what he's doing behind the scenes and being violent and trying to like go after the his perspective. It's instead focusing on the heroes, and I really dug that aspect of the film. Can you sort of talk about that?
Yeah, I have trouble sometimes with the real crime genre. I find that it becomes quite fetishistic in the way that they sensationalize violence. It feels a bit uncomfortable for me to spend so much time focusing on the life of someone who caused so much pain to others. And what was so beautiful about working on this, and it's Tobias Lindholm's humanity, and you see it in all of his work, is that he said, you know what, I'm going to focus now on the person who stopped the violence. And she didn't stop it with violence. She stopped it with compassion and love and friendship and reminding him of the person he is. And he's not a monster. He did terrible things, but he saved her life, and he's also done good things. And by focusing on that kind of compassion and love, she was, the cycle of violence then ends. And how great to be a part of a real crime genre film that focuses on that and lets everyone that's watching it at home know that they can also step forward and be the individual that is able to combat a system when you think that maybe you might have no power in doing so.
Eddie, I'll ask you an individual question. You've never played a dark character like this. Was it something that at the end of the shoot you were completely ready to shed? Or were you like, I think I'm going to be playing some dark characters going forward?
Well, the interesting thing about the playing of him is we were lucky enough to spend time with the real Amy Loughren in prep for the film. And, she spoke about these two different human beings that she knew. One was her best friend or close friend who was a kind, generous, brilliant nurse who saved her life. And then this other person that she met twice that was a serial killer who was a completely different human being. And she really underlined the importance of the friendship and the truth of that friendship. And so what it meant about the making of the film is a large amount of it, Jess was having to play Amy's heart condition. She was having to run around the set to build up her heart rate. It was an extraordinary physical feat. And actually, for a lot of the film, my role was really playing her friend. And it was only those last few weeks of filming when my family went home that it became more intense and rigorous. But even those scenes, which were based on some of the verbatim text that he said, it was extreme, but it was also getting to do that with Jess, who's an old friend and an actor I've long admired, was kind of thrilling as well.
Jessica, you have played a number of real people, but I believe this is the first time the real person was on set.
Oh yeah, that's a nightmare. No, it's it's great to have to be able to talk to the person that you're playing, and she was so incredibly generous with me, and what a resource. But of course, I'm human and I get really intimidated, and I can do all my prep before. And then when I get on set, I want to just kind of fall into the story I'm playing. So every time I saw her, I just was like, oh yeah, I'm a fraud. That's Amy, not me. I was really intimidated by her being there, but she was so generous with me. She, we would give each other a hug, and then she'd kind of like hide from my sight. So I would almost forget she was there. Yeah, she was great.
You guys had the fortune of filming most of this movie in order. And I wanted to know, what was that like as an actor? And do you feel does that really help you with your performance?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Always.
And also in the delicacy of what this friendship was, the bits that we could shoot in order were all the interiors inside the hospital. And one of the things I love about Krysty Wilson-Cairns' script is that she doesn't overwrite. There's a sparsity. She has like a real faith in the actors. But when you're shooting chronologically, you can develop little things that then get paid off later. And also your friendship, your character's friendship progresses naturally. It's such a rare thing, but it's extraordinary when you can have it.
I always love learning about like how you get ready for a shoot, and because I really do enjoy both of your work. Did you how did you actually both, how long do you spend for a performance like this? How long before your shooting begins are you actually getting in the headspace? Is it like months? Is it weeks? Like, how does it actually work?
I start getting in the headspace as soon as I know that the movie's going to happen or that the project's going to happen. I mean, I was shooting Scenes from a Marriage, and it kind of like really came right up into, I finished Scenes from a Marriage. And in fact, we had dinner with Tobias Lindholm when he came to town. Oscar and his wife and Jeremy, like we all met with Tobias to welcome him to New York. And then we started rehearsals for this. It was kind of like a right into thing, and it couldn't have been more of a different kind of headspace. But we had been attached to this project for like 6 years. So we knew it was going to happen for a long time. We had plenty of time to read the book, The Good Nurse, Charles Graeber's book that it's based on, or the true story it's based on, but we had that great resource to go to talk to Amy. We went to nursing school.
Mm-hmm.
We met in Tobias's kitchen for like weeks, going through the dialogue line by line. I mean, we really did a lot before we ended up on set.
Yeah, and I'm one of those actors that, like, if I attach myself to something, particularly something like this that shoots abroad or whatever, like the second I'm attached to it, it's in my head.
Yeah.
And I don't attach myself to something, and I find that hard to attach yourself to things without going, oh yeah, I'm definitely doing this. And so weirdly, I live with it. This one we lived with for quite a long time. But also, since The Theory of Everything, which was the first time when I was allowed a long runway, I suppose, a long period of time to prep, it's become like a thing that I will always push for, because some actors can jump into accents and physicalities and stuff, and for me it takes a wee while for those things they can work cosmetically for a while, but to be embedded. So I was very grateful on this that we had that time.
Yeah.
On that note, I need to stop. I'm just going to say congrats on the movie, and thank you for giving me your time. Good luck with the rest of your speed dating.
Thank you.